spectacular specialist shuttle. Let's get together for a huddle, but not too close, got to keep the bubble. Let's start learning, come on, let's hustle. We fit together like a puzzle. Library, music, art, PE. It's the super spectacular specialist shuttle.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's art lesson. This week we are still talking about overcoming obstacles and celebrating differences. You are going to learn a little bit more about one of my other artist helpers. His name is Claude Monet. He overcame different kinds of obstacles in his life, especially with his style of painting. You'll learn more about that later in the video. I wonder where Screech is, and I wonder where all of my artist helpers are. Let's go find them. Screech, where are you? It's time to make some art. That's weird, his nest is empty. I guess we could learn about a little vocab first. Vincent Van Gogh? Are you here? You're supposed to be teaching us a new vocab word. Hey, you're not Vincent Van Gogh. What are you doing in his studio? All right, let's go find the others. Come on. Frida Kahlo, where are you? I wonder where she is. How is she going to teach us about Claude Monet? Salvador Dali? Are you here? He's missing too? This is so weird. Where could they be? Okay guys, so I'm here in Monet's Maker Station studio, and he's not here either. Where are all of my helpers? Wait, I think I hear something. Do you guys hear that?
Where are we? What is this place? What's going on here? Hey, where are we? It looks like we're in a beautiful garden. Everyone, we're at my house in Giverny, which is a village in Normandy, France. Well, I guess it's time for vocab now.
Our word this week is impressionism. Claude Monet was an impressionist painter. He was actually one of the first artists to use this style. Impressionist painters focus on how light changes colors and forms. They use broken brushstrokes that look like little dashes of color. Many of Monet's paintings show places in his garden here in Giverny.
Do you notice all of the different colors? And that you can see all of his brush marks? I'm standing in front of Monet's house. He and his family rented this abandoned cider farm in 1883. They turned it into a beautiful home and garden. They lived here until 1926. This looks like a funny place. Salvador, this is my art studio. When I'm not painting outside in the gardens, I'm painting inside of this building over here. Oh wow, that sounds really fun. Want to hear something even funnier?
What happens when two frogs collide? They get tongue-tied. Why are frogs so happy? Because they eat whatever bugs them. What do stylish frogs wear? Jump suits.
Wow, Salvador is really silly. Let's just enjoy some peace and quiet over here in the iris garden. Hey Vincent, did you know that Monet wasn't so popular as an artist at first? A lot of people didn't like his style or colors. It is sad. They didn't even give him a chance. One person even called the Impressionists a bunch of lunatics. Yes, people didn't understand at first, but Monet persisted and he kept painting. And within a year, people started to accept his work. We are all so lucky he continued. He is one of the world's greatest artists to have ever lived. This is the Japanese bridge that crosses over my lily pond. I created 18 paintings of this bridge. I bet you saw a lot of frogs in this lily pond, Monet. I actually have a story about a frog that visited your garden.
Phillippe in Monet's Garden by Lisa Job Carmack and illustrated by Lisa Canny Chessox. This story begins in a frightful way. Frog legs, special of the day. In the city of Paris, as everyone knows, frog legs are eaten except for the toes. They are buttered and baked and sometimes fried, and the bigger the better is always the guide. A train ride away in the French countryside lived a frog named Phillippe with a marvelous stride. He got his name because of his leap, which was the biggest and grandest, just like his feet. Phillippe liked to play in the pond every day, and he tried not to mind when his friends were unkind. Tee-hee, ha-ha, you're a dumb-looking frog, they teased the unhappy Phillippe. Your thighs are too long, your shape is all wrong, you can't be our friend, you just don't belong. The frog catcher crept with his big trusty net as they bullied Phillippe and made fun of his feet. Oh no, it's not fair, they cried in despair. Phillippe in your net is a far better bet. Big feet or not, I haven't been caught. These legs won't be buttered, baked, or fried, but as for you, well, I bid you goodbye. Leap, leap, Phillippe! He heard the sheep bleat, and he kept on hopping. There was no time for stopping, as he made his escape from a gruesome fate. Just when Phillippe was all out of leap, he came to the gate of the Monet estate. And reading the sign which suited him fine, he begged Monet's pardon and entered the garden. No frog hunting! Oh my, what a size! I can't believe my eyes! Exclaimed the painter Monet. What a physique! Those legs are très magnifique! You're the perfect addition to my garden, not my kitchen. Philippe's grin grew a mile wide. He wouldn't be buttered and baked or fried. This smile became his only expression, because Monet's garden made quite an impression. Monet showed him the pond of which he was fond, where he painted the light between daybreak and night. And as for Phillippe, there were bugs of all kinds, green ones and pink ones on which he could dine. So Phillippe found a home to call his own, and Monet added some green to his painterly scene. The end.
Wow, Monet, thank you for showing us around your garden. It is so beautiful and inspirational. You're welcome. We're now at the lily pond. This is where I painted many of my paintings during my time here. Hey, do you guys hear that hooting noise?
Hey, there you are, Screech. Are you ready to do some art? I wonder what you have in your chest. A paintbrush and some paint. Wow, Screech, your painting is beautiful. I love your impression of the lily pond. Our first activity is a frog puppet, inspired by the book Phillippe in Monet's Garden. For this activity, you will need scissors and glue, a black marker, a small white scrap of paper, a piece of red and green construction paper. The first step is to stack your red and green paper. Fold them in half the hamburger way. Touch your finger to the folded side. This is the side you are going to draw on. Use your black marker to draw half of a circle shape. It should take up a lot of the paper, but you want to leave a little bit on the edge for some extra pieces we will need later. Carefully cut out your circle. Separate the two pieces of paper now, setting the red piece of paper to the side. You are going to need some of this extra for the eyes and the tongue. The eyes are round on top and flat on the bottom. On the green scrap paper with your black marker, draw two large gumdrop shapes, round on top and flat on bottom. Use your scissors to carefully cut them out. Next, you are going to use your white scrap paper to draw the eyes. Draw two circles, and inside each one, draw the pupil. If you want to leave a little highlight, leave the top corner of the middle circle white. Carefully cut out the eyes that you have drawn. Before you glue the two pieces together, you want to fold the bottom edge. This is the area we will use to glue the eye to the mouth. Now you can assemble the eyes. Glue the white circle to the green gumdrop. Then add glue to the folded tab and attach it to the frog's head. Next, we will start combining the red and green. We want this to work like a puppet, so our first step is to cut the frog's head in half. I know it sounds crazy, but this is the only way it will work. Carefully use your scissors to cut along the folded part of the green circle. It is important you put the glue in the right spot. You're going to use your glue stick or your glue bottle to only add a line of glue around the outside edge of the red circle. That way you can slide your hand inside the non-glued part in the middle. Attach the part with the eyes to one half. Add another line of glue on the other side and then attach the other half. You might see a little bit of the red showing in the middle, and that's okay. The last step is adding the tongue. We will use the leftover red scrap paper to add a tongue. Cut off a nice long rectangle. I'm rounding the edge of mine so it looks more like a rounded tongue and not a square tongue. Add some glue on the inside of the mouth and then attach the tongue. Put your glue and scissors away and your marker away, and you're going to carefully use your fingers to roll up the end of the tongue. Once your glue is dry, you can slide your fingers into the top and bottom of the frog's head and you can open and close his mouth. If the tongue gets in the way, you can fold it down a little bit like this. Don't forget to clean up after yourself. Throw away all your paper scraps and put away all your materials, and then have fun. Our second activity is a drawing. This will be inspired by Monet's Japanese bridge. For this activity, you will need a piece of paper, a pencil, and some crayons. Start with a light-colored crayon like yellow. Draw a big hill shape at the top of the paper, and then another one right above it. There should be a little bit of space at the top of your paper above these lines. Make your lines really thick by coloring over them a few times. Next, draw vertical lines in between. These will be the rails of the bridge. Try to space them out so there's about the same amount in between each line. Next, we are going to use a pencil to draw some details. Right below the bridge, draw a straight line with the pencil. This is the water line. Towards the bottom, we're going to draw a water lily. Start with a teardrop shape. Add some petals on each side. These are overlapping. They look like they're behind the first petal that you drew. Then in the back, draw the little tips of the other petals. These look kind of like mountain tops. Next, we're going to draw the lily pad. The lily pad is almost like an oval shape. Usually, you would think it would be a circle, but since we're looking at it from the side, it's more like an oval. Draw as many lily pads as you want. Try overlapping them so that they look like they're almost floating on top of each other. This will also make your drawing look more realistic. Closer to the water line under the bridge, the lily pads will be smaller. So as you move back, make your little ovals smaller and smaller. This will make it look like there is a lot of space in your drawing. These lily pads that are smaller will look farther away. When you are finished drawing with your pencil, you can set it aside and grab some crayons to work with. We won't be coloring in a regular kind of way. We will be adding little dashes of color, just like Monet does with his paint. I'm going to start with green for the lily pads. Add as many lines as you can. It's not important to fill in all of the white just yet. Did you know I could color this fast? I'm just joking. I sped up the video so that you have time to watch it in class. You can always go back and re-watch or slow down the video if you want to from home. Once you are finished with your first green color, you can add lots of other green colors with more dashes and more lines. The more colors and the more lines that you add, the more impressionistic it will be, like Claude Monet's paintings. It's okay if you go over your pencil lines. Claude Monet tried to work in a messy manner on purpose. For the flower, add layers of pink and yellow. Add layers of blue, green, purple, and pink for the water. The water reflected all different kinds of colors of things all around it. So Monet included all of these colors in his paintings of the water lilies. You will notice some white left at the top. Add layers of green in this remaining space. These will be trees that are in the background. The last step is to use black or a dark color to add some shadows and defining lines. It's okay if it looks a little bit messy. I'm kind of coloring in my lines rather than drawing them really neatly. I'm going around my flower petals so that it stands out. I'm also going to add some black around the edges of the lily pads. I added a little where my water line was and then under the bridge. Now you'll see that I'm making these 7 shapes in between the rails. This will help the bridge stand out. I hope that you have fun making your own landscape inspired by Monet's lily garden. This week we learned that Claude Monet was an Impressionist painter. Many people did not like Monet's work at first and told him he should quit. He overcame this obstacle by persisting. He is now one of the most successful artists of all time. To reflect, think about these questions. What was your favorite part of Monet's estate? Do you think Phillippe the frog had to overcome any obstacles? Which activity did you choose to do? We hope you had fun this week learning about Claude Monet and seeing his gardens and water lily pond. We'll see you next time.